Hello,
Hello,
how are you?
I'm fine and you?
I'm fine. How was your day?
Um,
Was it good? Was it bad? Was it okay?
mm, it's pretty good.
Pretty good. Okay, what did you do?
Mm, I learned more about Lego.
Okay, you played Lego. Did you play Lego? Did you build Lego? Did you buy a new Lego?
Now I learned more Lego.
Oh, okay, you learned. Okay, so did you go to school?
Um, uh, no,
No. Okay, so let's see what we are doing today. Okay, from this one. Okay, so we finished this one. We are now on this one. Okay, grammar past perfect. Okay, so read the text. What did the man steal? Okay, so can you read the text for me?
last
Last
weekend
weekend.
a very large man walked out of the shop center in Moscow with a cash machine on his shoulder that weighed 90 kilogram. He he had an entire the shop center and he pulled the cash machine out of the wall. Unfortunately, a shop assistant had seen the crime and called the police. They addressed the man later and he tried to put cash machine on his car. The man later told police that he had trained a sumo wrestler.
Wrestler. Okay. So last weekend, a very large man, big muscles, walked out of a shopping center in Moscow with a cash machine on his shoulders that weighed 90 kilograms. That is heavy. That weighs a lot. He had entered the shopping center and had pulled the cash machine out of the wall. Fortunately, a shop assistant had seen the crime and called the police. They arrested the man later as he was trying to put the cash machine into his car. The man later told the police that he had trained as a sumo wrestler. Okay, so we're going to look at the verbs in blue. So he had entered, he had pulled, he had seen, and he had trained. So did these events happen before or after the man walked out of the shopping center? So he had entered, was that before or after he walked out of the shopping center? Are you there?
Was
Okay. So if we think of a story, things have to happen in an order that makes sense. So something has to happen first, something has to happen second. So if we look at this here, he had entered. So this obviously had to come first. You have to enter the shopping center in order to steal something. So this happened, let's say before. Okay, so before he had entered. And then he had pulled. Did he pull after he left the shopping center or before he left the shopping center? Do you understand what I'm asking you?
Mm,
Okay. So, first thing is the man has to walk into the shopping center. Uh, okay, hold on. So, first man walks into shopping center. Second, he steals. Third, he walks out. Fourth, he gets caught. Fifth, he was a sumo wrestler. Okay. So first the man walks into the shopping center. So the man has to be in the shopping center or has to enter the shopping center. So he is in the shopping center. That happened before he left the shopping center. So, for example, you will enter school in order to leave school. You can't go home from school if you were not at school. Then he had pulled the cash machine out, so he was still in the shopping center. So that was before he left the shopping center. Had seen the crime, so that was before. Then after would be he had trained because he was already outside the shopping center when he told the police that he had trained as a sumo wrestler. Do you understand a bit more now?
yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so complete the rule two in the learn this box with before, after, or at the same time as. So we form the past perfect with had or hadn't and past participle. So when I got home, the thieves had stolen my motorbike. Okay, so this is what they're showing you. This thief stole his motorbike, then he got home. So it happened while he was not home. So we can put here and here, not home. Okay, do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. We use the past perfect to talk about an event that happened, something, another event in the past. So what do we use to fill that box? What word do you think goes into that box?
Before.
Good. He remembered that he hadn't locked the doors. Had they already finished eating when he arrived? Okay. Okay, complete the sentences. Use the past perfect form of the verbs in brackets. Okay, so before we do this, let us just give me a second. I want to show you something. Uh, okay. So we're looking at the past perfect. So that will be here. Okay. So when we talk in the past perfect, it's had and the third version of your verb. So usually the third version of your verb, usually has just got an ed. So like absorb, it changes to absorbed and absorbed. Sometimes, like here, we have a rise, a rose, and a risen. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. But most times it just gets an ed, and the verb to and the verb three are the same. Okay. So to make these sentences, we will say things like, I had watched a movie. I had gone out to dinner. I had eaten my dinner when my guests arrived. Okay, do you understand?
Yes.
Good. Can you give me an example? Can you give me an example?
Um, had played this game.
I had played this game. Very good. Okay, so let's go back to our. Okay, so after the thief steal the painting, he sold it online.
So
Okay, but what do we add? Because we're using past perfect.
still.
Okay, no, stole is correct. But remember, it's actually not stole, it's stolen. So after the thief had stolen the painting, so this is one of the words that change. So it's going to be steal, stole, stolen. So stolen will be your V3. Stole will be your V2. Okay. The police arrived after the shoplifter ran away. So what goes here? And remember we have to use the word had because it is past perfect.
Uh, had ran away.
Had run away. Okay. The police caught the vandals after they smashed a shop window. Can you try?
Hmm. But mm, I don't know.
Okay, so remember our version 3 sometimes just gets an ed. So the
Uh,
police caught the vandals after they had smashed a shop window. Okay, can you try number 4?
after had caught.
Good. Number 5.
Went.
Okay, but remember we have to use the word had. So what can we use that's going to be better than went?
Had.
Okay, so we're going to use the word go, but we need to add 2 extra letters onto that word.
Uh, go with ED.
Okay, no, not ed. This is one of the words that change a little bit.
Mm, mm, gone. They have
Gone.
gone.
Yes. Number six.
Have gone.
Good. Okay. Complete the text. Use the past perfect form of the verbs in brackets. So, last Saturday morning, a giant chocolate rabbit disappeared from a sweet shop window. The owner wondered who steal it.
Last Saturday morning, a chocolate rabbit is who had stolen.
Stolen. Very good. Who had stolen it as he not see the thief passed by?
Didn't seem
Okay, but remember we're using past perfect, so we need to use the word had.
hadn't seen.
Had not seen.
Not
Or
seen.
hadn't seen. Good. Later on, he watched the shop's security film and found out that a 3-year-old girl take the 60 centimeter tall rabbit. So what goes to in number three?
Have, have taken.
Good. Okay, the child pulled the large chocolate animal out into the street.
So has hold. And pulled.
Had pulled, good, and hide it in her pushchair. Okay, so hide is one of the words that are going to change a little bit. So how do we change hide? What does hide become?
Mm, hold.
Okay, not hold. The word becomes longer and it gets a double D. Okay, it's had hidden. Okay, so hide will change to hidden. Her mother not noticed this.
Mm, I didn't notice.
Okay, not didn't. We're using the word had.
And
Hadn't.
not notice.
Hadn't noticed. She was confused when she later found the rabbit but she only realized what happened.
What? What had happened?
Good. Well done. Okay, complete the sentences. Use the past perfect and your own ideas. Okay, so for number one, they gave us, I was worried that I had lost my keys. So number
Mm,
two, what sentence can you come up with I couldn't believe that?
uh, spend money on this game.
Okay, but you have to use the word had. So try again.
I had to spend money on this game.
Okay, but spend has to change. So I had spent money on this game. Okay, number three, I was embarrassed because.
Because because my mom had showed the photo when I was a kid to my friend.
Okay, so we're going to use the word shown. So my mom had shown the photo of me as a baby to my friend. Okay, number four, I was disappointed because.
Because the game developer had delayed the game.
Good, very good. The game developer had delayed the game. I like that one. Well done. Okay. Five, I was pleased because.
Because uh, uh, because in,
Okay, pleased, so happy. Why were you happy?
um, I had a uh, great grade of
A great off turn.
10.
Okay, what is off turn?
10
Oh,
grade.
okay. Oh, okay. And then number six, I suddenly remembered that.
Remember, I had cleaned the wash.
Good. Okay, well done. Okay, so look at one bad thing that happened yesterday and write it down. Look at the examples to help you. So their examples are the dog chewed my trainers, my brother broke my iPod, my mum burnt my dinner. Okay, so what one bad thing happened to you yesterday?
Hmm, I have I have to learn.
Okay, you had to learn. Good. Okay, culture outlaw. Do you know what an outlaw is?
No.
Okay, so usually somebody that does bad things, that's a criminal that gets chased by the police, is called an outlaw. Okay, so what do you know about Robin Hood? Have you seen any films about him? Okay,
No.
no. So do you know Robin Hood?
Yes.
Okay, so Robin Hood stole from the rich and gave to the poor. So he didn't call himself a criminal. He said he was helping the poor people because the rich people wouldn't. Okay, so let's listen to the audio and answer the questions.
Lesson 9C, Exercise 2.
The Legend of Robin Hood. Robin Hood is one of the most popular and interesting figures in English folklore, and his story is quite well known across the world. There have been several films made about him, including 3 in Hollywood. But who was he, and did he actually exist? In the 13th century, the story goes, there was a brave young man in Nottingham who fought against injustice with his band of outlaws. At that time, King Richard and his army were fighting in foreign lands. John was a mean and cruel ruler, and so was his friend, the terrible Sheriff of Nottingham. The sheriff demanded money from all the people who lived in the area of Nottingham. The poor had to pay large amounts and struggled to survive and feed their families. In the legend, Robin Hood was angry at the injustice and decided to fight against it. He and his band of outlaws lived in Sherwood Forest, an enormous wood near Nottingham that belonged to the king. They hunted the king's deer for food. The forest was considered a dangerous place, but to Robin and his band, it was a place of safety, away from the sheriff's men. There is some evidence that a man called Robin Hood actually lived during the 13th century, but it is unlikely that he was quite such a good man. Today, Sherwood Forest is a tourist attraction. Nearly 1 million people every year go to the visitor centre there to learn about Britain's most famous outlaw. And even if he wasn't quite such a great man, it's a great story.
Okay, so in which century, the century in which Robin Hood probably lived?
Mm,
The answer is there by number 4.
13.
Good. The name of the king at the time. You'll find that in number 2.
Richard.
King Richard, good. And the name of the forest where Robin Hood lived.
Nottingham.
No, not Nottingham. The name of the forest. You'll find that in number 3.
Enormous wood.
Okay, but just before Enormous Wood, we had the name.
Sherwood.
Sherwood
Sherwood
Forest.
Forest.
Very good. Okay, read the text again and match sentences A to E with the gaps 1 to 4. So there is one sentence we do not need. Okay, so I'm going to read 1 again and then we will choose. So, Robin Hood is one of the most popular and interesting figures in English folklore, and his story is quite well known across the world. There have been several films made about him, including 3 in Hollywood. But who was he, and did he actually exist? Okay, so do you think that A, Richard's brother John ruled England? B, but it is the heroic figure in the legend that we remember? C, however, he was also a great fighter? D, in fact, stories about the adventures of Robin Hood have existed for over 600 years? Or E, they also robbed rich people who were traveling through the forest and gave the money to poor people?
Mm, A is number 2.
Say that again.
A is number 2.
A is number 2. Okay. Let's put that there. Okay, what do you think is number 1?
B.
B. Okay, we'll see. Number 3.
3. D.
D. Okay. And number 4.
Number 4. C.
Let's see. Okay. So 1, I think it's D. So let's see. D. Okay, so it was D. So in fact, stories about the adventure of Robin Hood have existed for over 600 years. Okay, 2 is A, so that you got correct. 3 is E. They also robbed rich people who were traveling through the forest and gave the money to poor people. And 4 is C. However, he was also a great fighter. Okay, so we need to work a bit on your choosing headings for your stories. Okay, so now match the highlighted words in the text with the definitions below. Okay, so our words are injustice, outlaws, army, ruler, struggled, and evidence. So which word do you think means a very large group of soldiers?
Army.
Good. Okay. Sorry. Army. Okay. 2, facts that show that something is true.
Evidence.
Good. Fought to do something or had great difficulty doing something.
Outlaw.
Okay, it's not outlaw. Try again.
Ruler.
Okay, not ruler. Okay, let's try number 4. We'll get back to number 3. A person who leads a country and has power.
Ruler.
Good. Okay. People who have committed crimes and are hiding.
Injustice.
Okay, not injustice. Try again.
Outlaw.
Good. Okay, something that is very unfair or wrong.
Outlaw.
No, we just used outlaw.
Struggle.
Okay, not struggle. It's injustice. So our last one will be struggle. Okay, so let's check. Army, yes. Evidence, struggled, ruler, outlaws, injustice. Okay, well done. Okay. When completing a true or false listening task, before listening to the text, read the questions to find out what information you need. Listen to the text very carefully. Sometimes one word or expression can be the answer. Okay, so we're not going to start this right at the moment. We don't really have time. Let's see what we've got. Okay, reported grammar speech. Okay, so let's actually just practice for the last couple of minutes. Okay, so for our last few minutes, I would like you to tell me something that had happened yesterday using the past simple. So using the word had.
Mm, I had to learn. I had to learn computer.
Okay, good. You had to learn computers. What is something you did last week?
Mm, I I go. I had to bring the math book to my grandparent.
Okay, you had to take the math book. Okay, so bring we use in the present tense. So can you bring me some water? Can you bring me my headphones? Means you must bring them to me. You must take it to me. But if we're going to take something somewhere, we use the word take. So I had taken my math book to my grandparents. Okay, you get very excited. What makes you excited?
Mm, playing new video game.
Okay, so how do we put that, or how do we change the sentence into a past present? I mean, a past perfect.
Mm, uh, I I really excited when I had chance to touch the new video game.
Okay, very good. Okay, so we can end there for today. And then I'll see you again on Thursday.
Bye.
Goodbye.